Hi, Aletha here with Create Your Future. I'm so excited because I am offering a spring sale. All of my coaching, one-on-one coaching is on sale. How to Manifest Exactly What You Want course is on sale. Manifesting with an Age Gap course is on sale. And Turn Back Your Biological Clock on Aging is also on sale. Now is the perfect time to book sessions with me for coaching and or buy courses because it's all on sale and we all love a sale, right? It's always nice to save some extra money. Okay, what do you feel like physically inside right now? And what are your thoughts on that subject inside right now? Are you aware that the cells of your body are not old? That they keep regenerating and they're always new, they're constantly replenishing life, and that your body has the potential of being as young and as vital as it ever has been. Because you do not have old cells, but you might have an old attitude about your new body because your body replenishes itself every year. You have a new body. Your body continually replenishes. Your DNA is new every 2 months. Your skin every month. So if there's something about your skin you don't like, you have 60 days or 30 days to work on it because it renews itself every month. Your liver is every 6 weeks. Your stomach lining every 5 days. How cool is that? If I have a stomach ache, I know you're going to be better in 5 days. Well, that, you know, if I start to worry about, oh my gosh, what is that? Like, well, my body renews itself. My stomach lining renews itself every 5 days. So I'm going with, it's whatever it is going to be gone because I got a whole brand new one coming up in 5 days. And so you live from the place of knowing nothing can hold you back. Nothing limits you. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to be afraid of because your body is continually replenishing itself. Your DNA is changing, is renewing itself, every 2 months. Your brain every year. Isn't that cool? Your blood every 4 months and your bones every 3 months are renewing themselves. So you don't have to be, someone was talking to me the other day and they were saying about people getting older and needing to have their bones checked for density and all that, and you need to be concerned about that. And I'm like, why? Because my bones every 3 months are brand new. Why would I worry about them becoming decrepit, old, and falling apart? They're brand new every 3 months. So if I live from that state of mind, then I'm giving those bones, as they replenish themselves, fertile soil in which to thrive. And what we do is our body has the potential, it does renew itself. It does. And it has the potential to be extremely healthy and fit. But we feed it crappy food. We don't nourish it in the way that we should. And what are we nourishing it with? Our thoughts, our attitudes. You don't have old cells. You don't have an old body, but you have an old attitude about that whole new body, all those new cells. Your DNA is continually replenishing itself. And when you're born, immediately people say that when we're born, that we are starting down the track of aging, and eventually dying. But that's not the way our cells work. That's not the way our body is set up. The way it's set up is the moment we're born, it's continually reproducing, replenishing life. It's not stopping and becoming older and older and older. It is literally renewing itself over and over. How can it become older and older if it's in a constant state of renewal? I just told you what scientists have proven, that every 2 months you have new DNA, that every 5 days you have a whole new stomach lining, that once a year you have a whole brand new brain. So if you're 35, 55, 65, that's not the same brain you started out with, because every year you got a new one. You're not 365 days, you've got this whole new body. But we don't think in those terms. We think in negative terms. We think in terms of getting older, over the hill parties at 40. If I forget something, it must be old age. But when I was working in the school districts and teaching little kids who were 5, 6, 7, 8, and they forgot stuff all the time. I mean, all the time. Did I walk around and say, oh, these kids are just getting so old. They can't remember a thing. No. Why do we do that about ourselves? The only reason you can't remember is because you tell yourself you can't and that you're getting old. I ran into someone the other day and I asked how they were and they said, oh, I'm getting older. And I'm like, well, you don't need to have that kind of mindset. No, yes, I do, because I truly am getting older. And so what did I say? Fine, get older, because you're going to. Why? They didn't want to hear a word I had to say. They were in the mindset that I'm getting older. It was a joke. They were laughing, but they were dead serious. So they will get older. And they were only in their 50s, but they're going to get older before a lot of other people, because why? They are living from the conscious state of, I'm getting old. And what is getting old? It's no fun to lose your vitality, to lose your energy, to lose your muscles and your joints and the ability to do the things you want to do, and creativity, and have brain power that is still creative and resourceful. And you have all that potential because your body is created to not be ill and to live a long time. It has longevity. Telomeres are our longevity cells in us, and then there's telomerase that help heal that from all the stress and the different things that happen to us in our lives. And I'm not a scientist, so you can check all that out with people who are, like Joe Dispenza, Greg Briggs, and Dr. Bruce Lipton. They will give you all the details on that and all the research. It is amazing. But I know from the law of assumption in my own life and what I've seen around me with people that have healed themselves, because our bodies were never meant to be sick. But we have, like the little phrase that I read earlier, we have an old attitude about this body that is continually renewing itself. So if you're in a persistent illness right now and you're having aches and pains and whatever it may be, or something serious, look at what you're thinking. Are you persisting in the old story that I'm sick? Are we telling people all the time that I'm sick, that I have this? I met somebody, or I was with someone who we met some new people, and the person I was with, an acquaintance of mine, introduced herself as so-and-so, and I have Lyme's disease. Like, why? What are you supposed to say to that? Oh, well, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, I do have sympathy for you, and I do care. But she identifies as a person with Lyme disease. So as long as she identifies as a person with Lyme disease, she will have Lyme disease, because it's a program in her now. And that's what this whole video is about. You can change your programming. It only takes 72 hours to rewrite your neuron network inside of you. 72 hours, 3 days, that's all. But it takes persistence, it takes rehearsal. And then and it also takes, what do you want? What do you want? What's your new story? You're gonna change an old program in 72 hours. You've gotta have a new story. You start to live from the new vision, not the old story. So if there are things in your life that you wanna change, and this applies not only to your health, not only to reversing the aging process, because you can have a biological clock set at 35 when you're 55, and that's perfectly okay. You live from that vision, because your body will comply to your thoughts, and it will reverse you back to a healthy 35 vibrant person if you persist in that, continually persist in that and rehearse in that. So when you want to change an old story, you have to rehearse it, right? A play, you become a character in a play. You have to memorize your lines. You have to learn, so you have to set up intentions. The lines would represent intentions. You set up intentions, lines that you're going to say all the time, because this is who you are now. You are this character. You have to have lines that go with this new version of you. What is that version of you? That version has perfect health all the time. That version is completely pain-free. That version is free of all illness, disease, and infirmities of every kind. That version is anything you want it to be. You get to decide, and then you stick with it. Just like the actor has to rehearse their lines. They go on stage, they become that person or that version. Pretend. They're pretending, right? But that's rehearsing, that's repetition, and that's what it takes to go from an old program and change those neurons in our brain, those connections, to create new ones, so that the old program dies, fades, and goes away, and the new one becomes who you are, your new identity. But you have to let go of the old story totally and completely. And then you live in the new story. So you're not going to create from the old story anymore. You're not going to create from the illness, disease, or the fact that I'm 40 and I'm over the hill. You're not going to create from any of that. You're going to create from whatever your vision is. Your vision is I'm 35 no matter how old chronologically I get. And here's a fact. Chronologically, you will grow older, obviously, but not at the same, it doesn't have to be at the same rate and time biologically. You are in control of what goes on in you biologically with your thoughts, your mind, your attitude. What are you saying to yourself? What is your inner conversation all the time? You forget something, you say it's old age. You can't see something, do you say it's old age? Do you plan for your retirement because you're going to be old, or do you plan for your retirement because that's when you're going to go out and you're going to have so much more fun? You've been working and working and working, and you love your work, right? You love your work, right? You enjoy your work. And if you don't, then set a vision for something that you do want to do, that you do love, and move yourself into that with your new mindset, because whatever you focus on, whatever you are thinking about all the time becomes your reality. It's pushed out and reflected back. So if you're constantly thinking about the pain in your body and talking to people about that, or you're constantly thinking about the wrinkles on your face and talk to people about that, constantly equating yourself with getting older and older and older, then that's exactly what's going to happen. But if you change all that and reverse all that, that you know that your mind is efficient and you have a beautiful, wonderful memory, and that it is like a computer. So I know it's in there. If there's something I can't remember, I know it's in there. I know it will come out, and I tell it that. I say, I know you're in there. I know you can come out, and I'm waiting for you right now. And it does. I remember it. So you're in control of everything. And so you can move from where you are right now to where you want to be, but you have to persist in it. You have to do the work. You have to change your inner conversation, and you have to live from the vision and not the old story. If you try to change your world living from the old story and talking about that and being absorbed in that even a little bit, then you're going to continue to get, with a little bit, you're going to get like hot and cold, in and out. You need to divorce yourself of the old. Let it go, let it die. You don't need it anymore. It's not who you want anyway. I was in a situation not long ago where I was looking at the situation and it was painful, and I suddenly realized, I don't like this part of my life, not at all. But I don't have to live there. So I went inside in my imagination, and I lived from my vision. No one knew I was doing it. I was in a room of a couple people, and there was no reason for me to talk or be a part of the conversation, but it was something I didn't want. I didn't want that in my life anymore. So what I did was I lived from what I did want, what I do want, what I want to experience. And what I wanted to experience, maybe even minutes, hours later, started to show up. Why? I went into my imagination and I saw me being that person. I didn't reinforce the old story. I reinforced the new story. Like the actor on the stage, they have to say their lines. That's your intentions. That's your inner conversation. They portray that character. They must say their lines. And they're portraying that character through the words they say and the emotion they apply to those words according to whatever the storyline is. So know your vision. Know your intentions. Make them your inner conversations and live from that so you can portray your character in this illusion that we call life and be that person. You're an infinite being who came here to have a human experience. Why not make it the absolute best? It's why you came. You didn't come here to suffer and be all old and wrinkled up. No, you came here to have fun and life and joy and be enthusiastic about your world. Well, what did my mood do the other day when I decided to mentally leave the situation I was in that I didn't like and go into what I do want mentally? No one knew it because it was internal. my mood totally changed. And then my world changed not long after that. And everything that I really wanted in that situation manifested on its own. I didn't say one word to anyone about anything. I just allowed it to flow. I just allowed it to flow. I stayed with the story. I stayed with those inner conversations. I stayed with that vision of me. And then everything that I wanted flowed into me. And people had no idea that I had manifested that through my imagination, through my inner conversations, through my mindset that I already had that's who I am. So my characters in my play, the little people all around me, became what I wanted them to be. I rewrote their lines. So you can do that with everything in life. SP, money, everything, pain, illness. But you have to go from the old story, let it go. Don't check out the 3D. And don't check out social media. Let it all go and stay in story. I didn't walk around trying to convince people to think and feel what I wanted them to think and feel and act and treat me in the way that I wanted to be. I didn't. As a matter of fact, it was all internal, according to who I am internally. And then they responded likewise, because what I am inside gets pushed out and then it's reflected back. And it was all love. So what did I get back? Love. I got back love, kindness, admiration, because that's who I decided I am. That was my vision in that situation. You can do that all the time. And guess what? It felt so good. I mean, instead of staying there in that old 3D place or in that environment where it was negative, I went into a place where it was full of joy and love and where I was everything my heart desires. And I sat there while they were all doing their thing, feeling really wonderful and good internally. They didn't need to know. But then it all manifested and turned around within a half hour or so, and was beautiful the rest of that time there. So you have so much power, and that's all this video is about. You have so much power, and you have to actualize it through your mind. Your body and your cells do replenish themselves. When you're born, you're not getting old. You are replenishing life. Your life force is life upon life upon life. It's not depreciating. It's replenishing your life force over and over and over and over. Life upon life upon life upon life. You have that. You have that in every area of your life, with the SP, with money, with your career, with whatever it is your heart's desire, with your health. All of that is always dependent on your thoughts. Are you creating from the vision that you have? Do you know for sure what that vision is? I mean, I'll ask people, what is your vision? And like, they don't know. They don't even want to go there. All they want to do is loop back in to tell me, well, this happened and that happened and he said this and she said that. And I was like, what is your vision? What do you want for your life? They don't know. Because we're so conditioned to think that 3D is real. It's not. It's a reflection of our past thoughts. We are basing our current life in the moment on something that's not real. So go to your vision. It is real. It's in the moment. When I sat there in that little group of people, in the moment, I changed my whole situation with my thoughts, my attitude, my vision. I know what my vision is. I know who I am, and I know what character I am portraying. And that's who I live from. And that's what you can do. Let the old story go completely, no matter what the 3D is showing you. Because what's happening is you stay in that story like I did. It has to show up. So what's it going to be? Your new 3D. So let the old go, because as long as you're in that new story, that vision that you have for yourself, it has to be pushed out and be reflected back. So you know that this thing that you're thinking right now is going to become your new 3D reality. And that's too cool, isn't it? Then you'll get what you want. You got it now. But then it'll be reflected back to you, and that's really nice. So, as I said before, everything is dependent on you doing the work, on you deciding what your vision is and living only from that, with your inner conversations, with your imaginal scenes, with your talk out loud to other people, to continually live in a state of abundance, and that I am everything my heart desires. And live from whoever that person is in your vision, and write down, what are the attributes of that person? How would that person think and feel in this situation or that situation? And that's what I came to when I was starting to feel really bad. I thought, well, what would she think and feel? Who's me? What would my vision think and feel? So I went there and became her again. I let the 3D go, and I lived in that vision of her, and she got what she wanted. She is me. So, okay. If you have any questions or need any help with any of this, because I covered a lot of things, sort of jumped around today. Schedule a coaching session with me, and I will help you zero in on what your vision is. Do you really know what it is? I mean, really in detail, what that vision is, so that you can pop into it immediately when the 3D is starting to show you things or beginning to hurt. You can go right into this new vision, this vision of yourself, and live from there internally, and no one around you has to know. And then what you can be certain of is that whatever you're living in that vision, while all this other stuff around you is happening, will pop out of you, it will be pushed out of you, and it will be reflected back, and you will experience that. And that was my confidence. I just knew that eventually I would experience that love that I wanted, because I was pushing that out of me. And then it was shown back. It was reflected back. And in a very short period of time, because it's happening, and it's happening now. Okay, thank you. That's my video. If you have any questions, please just schedule a coaching session with me. Remember, everything is on sale, and so are the courses. Blessings.